What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Giselle, and this is the Black Table Conversations with Miss Giselle. And tonight we have Mr. Jabal Black in the building. Say what
Hello, 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 everyone. How you doing? How you doing, Miss Giselle?
I
Thank you for having me on.
absolutely. I'm so excited about this interview. Mr. Jabal is one of our top five authors
Hmm.
of the month. And I'm so excited that he's here. So we're gonna dive in. So
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
yes, tell everyone a little bit about you.
Okay, I was born actually in New York, Newburgh, New York. My parents moved. They were originally from Alabama, Montgomery and Tuskegee, respectively. They moved back to. I was born in 1970. They moved from New York back to Birmingham, Alabama, in 1972. I've spent most of my life, I would say, there. Uh, Joined the Marines, did about 6 years in the Marine Corps, participated in Desert Storm. I've currently been working for a shipping company. Done in January, it'll be 30 years of working with UPS. Uh, but in 2010, I moved to Georgia, Lawrenceville, Georgia. And it's been probably the best move I've made in my life. It's been really a positive move. It's been a real blessing. Um, God has led me to a place and he's opened doors for me that I didn't even know were there. So, and I've met some great people. I've been able to write my book. I'm currently writing the second book. I'm also writing a screenplay. I'm writing a pilot. So I'm able to do some things I've been wanting to do, I guess, all my life. And so, that's kind of where I'm at.
I love that. Absolutely. And I know we had a little conversation, especially when it comes to growing up in the South and all of that type of stuff. Let's talk about the influence of that background as well as your military experience. And then we got you to making that.
Okay. Ooh, growing up in the South. Now, my experience is probably going to be a little different from anyone else's. When we first moved to Birmingham, we lived in an all Black community. I lived on the street where everyone knew everyone. You could walk from house to house. There were only houses on one side of the street. School was on the other side. But I could go to any house for 10 houses down. We lived on it was a dead end street. For 10 houses down, I could walk to anyone's house and we knew them. We knew each family. It was like the whole block raised you. You couldn't get in trouble up the street and beat it and make it back home before they already knew what you did.
It was like they
It,
here.
it
It
was
was
that
like
sort of thing. And if you were at any one of their homes and someone was cooking, they were making a big dinner, they call your parents and like, hey, we're cooking this, we're making stew, we're making this, whatever. Can he stay for dinner? And it was just a big family situation, the whole street. When I was 7 years old, we moved from there to a predominantly Caucasian community. We were the only Black family on the street. That was when I first got my real experience of racism, the summer of 1978. I was 7 years old. I was walking out of the house that we had just moved into, maybe been there a month or two. Walking onto my front porch, a pickup truck comes down the street with um, primer, primer colored, rust colored, two men in it. Remember, gun rack in the back, rebel flag on it. And they stopped the truck and yelled, "Go home, nigga." Oh, and the boldness of some men, I don't know. At my age at 7, I don't know per se if those were men or they were maybe teenagers. They may have been early 20s. At that age, you can't really perceive the age of someone else or how old they may be. But it just, gave me that opening up to see that men hated that much, my skin that much that they would stop and yell at a child, you know. And then having to navigate and learn who were not racist and who were from those years going forward. Um, the elementary school I went to was mixed, but at the time coming in, I think it was more white than black. As I went up grade levels, it started to change and became more black. But still, the areas of the town I lived in, you still had to kind of navigate where it was friendly for you to go, where it wasn't. You know, you could I could walk to school, which was about a mile away, but you just had to know what streets you could kind of walk safely, and those that you had to, keep your pace up as you walk down them, because somebody might say something odd to you. Other than that, not a bad experience. My high school, at the time I came in, was starting to become predominantly black, and we had a lot of good teachers there. One of my English teachers recognized that I could write, and she was trying to encourage me to do it. I started writing stories. She was trying to encourage me to, but it just didn't stick with me then. It's high school. I'm young. I'm 16 years old. I'm like, yeah, right. That writing stuff. That's not what I want to do. That's not the cool thing at the time. I came out of high school, went off to college, Alabama State University. Love my HBCUs. If you've never gone to HBCU, you're missing out on something. You don't know what a party really is, and a family experience there at the school. And once again, you get a lot more teachers, I think, at the HBCU that are more encouraging to you and more enriching towards a Black person. I, like I said, did 6 years reserve with the Marines, left from Alabama State, went to UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham, to finish up my degree in broadcasting. I was in communications, but still didn't choose that path. I worked for a couple of TV stations, worked for a radio station, still didn't really stay in that field. But at the same time, I was writing stories, but I just wasn't taking it that serious. My job kind of led me into transportation. I started working, and when you start working long hours for someone else and on their dream, yours kind of gets lost a little bit. So, but still write a little bit, but put it down. Um, had three beautiful children. I have a son who's 30, 33 now. I've got two daughters, one 22 and 20, and they're both creative. They're artists, they're writers, they do different things. So it's been an experience coming up. I'm sorry, that was too much.
No, you're perfect. No, just let it flow. And so, what led to this book? Like your book.
Okay.
Tell everyone your title to your book, and just tell how all of that just helped you to mold and really
So,
tackle this book.
I have been one to write stories, and my book, Consensual Deviance. Uh, I have been writing on a few of these stories for a while. Some of them were just sitting up. Uh, as I was saying, my father uh, was living with me from about 97, 98, and he passed in 2019. He was 1 month short of being 100 years old. My father had been a writer. He liked writing stories about baseball. Uh, my father came along at a time before the Negro Leagues were really there for him to play in. And as he grew up, he would play in a lot of things like the steel companies in Birmingham, the pipe companies, the coal companies. Everyone had a baseball team. And people loved to watch these teams come and play baseball on Sundays. That would be a pastime. It was Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and people would come out. And my father got to play on he got a lot of jobs with different companies because he could play really well. Well, he would sit down and write about baseball. My father said as a child, as a pastime, he would make up teams and actually write out whole games with them playing against each other. Uh, because, there was not a lot of toys around for kids then. So that was his passion, writing about baseball. I started writing, but I was also taking care of my father. So I didn't have a lot of free time. When my father passed, I was kind of left with this void in this time I was trying to fill in and needed something to do. sitting down writing the book was therapeutic for me. It gave me kind of a release. Now, the erotica side of it is just something that's fun. I like doing it. I'm not saying I'm an expert in of this, but it was just fun. It takes you into a fantasy. It's something to just, like I said, give your mind somewhere else to go when you're, not wanting to deal with the day's problems, something like that. If you have time to sit down, it's just something fun and airy.
Right. Well, you gotta have a place to release, and just like have something outside of television. That's what I
Mhm.
think is so amazing because you guys can create these stories and kind of like make people imagine the story. So it makes them use their creative part of their brain. So everything that an author is necessary and important. So yes, that's amazing. I love it. So what would you like to leave everyone, like not even leave everyone with, we're not gonna round off yet, but what would you say to those who are looking to write a book? What would you say if they had the thought in their mind, but they just haven't gone through with it?
Ooh. Um, and I have been telling friends this, people that saying they would like to write is start. Just start somewhere. If you just jotting down some notes on it, just start somewhere. Write a rough draft. Just write a little bit. Um, I have a friend. She's writing about her life story. She didn't know where to begin, and I told her, "Well, just begin with your earliest memory, or begin at the middle. You can always go back and fill in where you left off." I said, "It's not like it's a it's not like a river. The water's not going to pass you by. You can always write it down and add to it or take away from it, edit it however you want to do it. But to anyone who wants to start, please start. Um, and if you need any assistance, please talk to my friend Elizabeth Roberts at Area Justice Media LLC, Area Justice Media Group LLC. Elizabeth is great with motivating. She's great with editing. She's great with everything, producing and getting you on the right track. But anyone who wants to do it, just start doing it. Just start somewhere. Write your first word.
Right. I agree. I love Elizabeth also. Now,
Hmm.
where can people find your work? Where can people find your book?
I am on Amazon. I'm on Barnes and Noble. Um, it is Apple, Kobo, Tolino, Vivalo, but I would say Amazon and Barnes and Noble are probably the easiest two to find it on.
Gotcha. Now, do you have a website?
It's
You're working on
at
it.
Jabal.black. That's my Instagram, or at Jabal_Black for Twitter.
All right. And I will make sure that those titles, that your access to you is online because you're gonna get fans. And fact is, you deserve it because just to, especially, I know some brothers out here who would love to have a little escape in your book. So that's a definitely a target, and some sisters too. So I'm definitely gonna make sure that your IG and your Twitter, you said Twitter, correct?
Yes.
Your IG and your Twitter are added to the link in the bio of this interview on IG as well as
Oh,
on YouTube, just so that they can reach out to you. Now, before we go, what would you leave with everyone? Something
oh, what
inspirational.
would I win?
What inspirational thoughts would you like to leave with everyone?
An open mind. Please go into every situation with an open mind and expect your expectations. Don't expect an outcome. Please just go in with an open mind and let things happen. Be open to let things happen sometimes. Um, I've gone into situations and had the most fun or gotten the most out of an experience when I didn't go in with an itinerary. I didn't go in with the expectation of something happening. I just went in and, like I said, open-mindedly, just let things flow. That's what I would say. Yeah,
That's
open-mindedness.
Yeah, that's some amazing advice. And guys, take heed with of that advice. Besides that, until next time, family, this has been an awesome month of interview with you guys. Holla at our brother's book, and also our brother Jamal's book, and also follow him on Twitter and IG. We may have a little contest later on for those who want to participate, so you can possibly win a book. And just follow to find out more details. Until next time, peace, love, reparations, prosperity, and everything in between.
When you think of your life, could it be a book? A lot of people have stories to tell, but they just don't know how to translate it to paper. This is why I created Area Justice Media Group, LLC. At Area Justice Media Group, we are entertainment. Instead of a script, we write our own stories, use our own imagination, and entertain readers all around the world. My name is Elizabeth Roberts, and I'm an author and a book publisher. Not only do I publish books, but I make them come to life on the TV screen. I have had one of my books featured on The Real. I worked with numerous celebrities in the book and film industry. My book trailers / short films are now available on Roku, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and more. I've had the pleasure of writing a 2-hour feature film, and I have now helped over 30 authors get published with their books being distributed via Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and more. In addition, I publish all genres, so nobody will be left out. In traditional publishing, you have to hire an editor, copywriter, formatter, and cover designer. At Area Justice Media Group, I am your one-stop shop from publishing to getting your book on the TV screen. Welcome to the group.
But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness.